So this has got the 48 volt system, little generator in there, AdBlue. First time I've had an AdBlue vehicle. I'll have to read up on that. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other bits and pieces and extra systems in there to make the diesels clean. I'd like to look for some space for some onboard air. We've got a battery up the back there. Doesn't look like there's much space for a dual battery, but no doubt most people are going sort of lithium batteries in the back nowadays, so it probably won't be an issue. There's plenty of space underneath this plastic cover behind the grill here for a bunch of things, whether it be DC-DC chargers, lights, transmission cooler. I can see why they put the cowl on there. It's an ugly motor. This is aluminium, nice and light. They've gone the trusty old stay there. That's never going to run out of gas, but I'm pretty sure people are going to put gas struts on them. I have to wait and pull all this off and have a look. Okay. What else have we got holding this in place? Taking stuff apart the first time is always the hardest. Just taking a stab in the dark as to how to take this apart. I need to go get a haircut.
Oh, you can't for continuity.
Bugger! Probably would have been easier to take the whole bumper off.
Dying?
Dripping.
What do you think about moving Kate on to Victoria?
Let's get a Tassie. Oh, it was a breech birth, that's why. Little legs were in the way. Jeez. Just going to see if there's any easier way to do it. Anyway, that gives me enough access. I do like this position. Just looking for mounting points as we always do.
Did that just fall through? Tin.
Can't get my hand down there to get it. It's all the way down there. I have to take the bash plates off to get this sucker. Oh man. Yeah, it's right there.
Where?
Maybe I can mount it down there. Here, we've got a big bolt down there. Also I want mounting points which we can get to without having to take this front grille off. I suppose the thing is you need to have a look at roughly how you're going to approach it so you can get the right scan data. Otherwise you have to come back and try to scan it again. But
What 3D scanner did we start with?
it's actually similar to what you were holding. We're using a camera, Sony A7, and we're doing photogrammetry. So you take like 200 photos and you upload it to the cloud and it puts together a model for you. And it was rubbish and it took forever to do. But that was how we started. Then I picked up an Artec Eva. At the time that was one of the ones that the industry liked to use. So I flew all the way down to Melbourne to pick that one up from a hobbyist. He bought it to do some stuff, lots of toys and no time to play with them. So I picked that one up for, at the time that was $10,000 for a second-hand scanner. So a bit of a gamble, but made all the difference. Absolute game changer. I know that's cliched, but that Eva was really good. There's lots of options now though with scanners, but it does come down to the software as well. The software makes a big difference.
What would you suggest to someone looking to buy one to start tinkering themselves?
So it's definitely within the realm of hobbyists and people who want to sort of modify and create parts for themselves. For a few $1,000s, you can get a pretty good scanner. Probably get similar quality to this, but not as fast. But for a few $1,000s, you can look at IronStar, Creality. I've got some as well. These are Chinese companies that are sort of learning or mimicking other scanners out there. So they've definitely come a long way. Sort of reminds me of the 3D printers. Back then you had your Stratsys and stuff like that with all these really high-end, awesome 3D printers. And eventually technology's all filtered down to the more affordable brands, like your Bamboos and stuff. Like there'll probably be someone who comes out that's going to do a Bamboo to the 3D scanner world. But having said that, Artec have got technology where you can just use your phone to take a heap of photos and it creates a model. Apparently it's quite good, but this is what we use. And sort of see how it sees the tape It doesn't see this here. That's really hard for the scanner to see.
Is it just too fine a detail?
Yeah, because it works like your eyes. You know, your eyes are separated. So it sees two different views and it puts it together to make out a solid sort of 3D world. No, it's getting there. So this thing takes up to 80 frames a second, which is pretty fast. My old scanner used to do, I think, 8. So this is able to capture a lot of data a lot quicker. The more photos it takes, the more accurate the model is. And you can sort of see that nowadays nothing is flat and parallel. That's why we need the geometry so that we can construct stuff.
What was your biggest learning with 3D scanning?
I suppose just understanding how it works, and then also seeing what the output is like when you get it into the software. We also struggled initially with the size of the models and how much data was in there. So being able to simplify it down and use it. I suppose one of the funny ones that you understand is assuming that cars are the same on both sides. So we'd scan one side and say, oh, the other side's going to be the same, no worries. We've been caught out many times with that. Just small little differences makes, yeah, okay. The cool thing with this scanner too is you can resume scanning too. So I've stopped scanning, I'm just checking if I've got enough detail. And I reckon I just need a little bit more around here. So what you do is you point it at the scanned area and it just aligns everything and it knows where it is and it goes, okay, I found my spot and we're ready to go again. So it's aligning the scans on top of each other automatically. Whereas previously you'd have to do that manually in the software if you're doing multiple scans. I think the other thing with scanning too is a scan is a scan, but it's always good to take photos of the area to remind yourself. We've got the vehicle here, so it's easy, but for vehicles where we can only get a scan and they go away or we don't have access to the vehicle, it's always good to take some photos as well. We've got the windscreen washers in here as well, not in the bonnet. Also, this gap here is very tight. Your traditional bonnet aerial brackets might be a bit hard to do to get in there without having to rub up on the paint and so forth. However, there's a bit of a plastic cover here that looks quite substantial. So I'd be interested to get that off to see what we can do underneath that. It might mean a complete replacement to do some sort of a mount there. Might be quite interesting. Doesn't smell like anything. It's supposed to be ammonia, isn't it? Urine? Urea, that's it. Doesn't smell like it. Can you just pee in it? If you run out of AdBlue?
I find you out here talking about the AdBlue.
This is Apple CarPlay, but it's a nice... I don't know what I'm listening to. Is it Rolf Harris? Oh, it's some old R&B. Where was it? This... We've got our gauges now.
Oh,
30 degree and like brake, you can, when you step on the brake, and even your wheels move. There you go.
Can you accelerate?
Ooh. There you go.
It knows you're the current driver?
Yeah, apparently it scans your face. There's some cameras or something over there. Be interesting to see if Lay got in here, if it recognises him.
It's made by Toyota and hope it's not.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Does this double check? 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 4. So, we just have to load a sheet. We just got to get this sheet perfectly into position. You got to get it in line with these teeth here. It doesn't need to be perfect because the machine actually checks it. Calibrate the laser head to this new sheet. Don't smack the $30,000 head into the job. When the machine calibrates, it spits out this number, and it can be anywhere from 5,000 to 5,200, and we play this lottery game because the machine actually knows how far away the head is from the plate, and it can follow the plate. Even if the plate's bent, it can follow the contour of the plate. Without that calibration, it can't do it. So that's a good number. The laser is gonna check the position of the plate. That's him. Make sure it all fits on the plate by framing it. And we'll send it around the perimeter. The little red, got the little red dot we can follow. We are ready to cut.
Whoop, whoop. Here I come.
$250 prototype, here we come. Prototypes have finished cutting. Parts inside parts. Today we're gonna have a look through the rectangular window. Got the barrier, the mollies, all the bracketry, shelf and fence. We're going to put it through the linishing machine, get all the dross and burrs off, make all the corners nice and round for a smoother product. These spin and this spins. It's pretty cool.
Lots of little sandpaper.
Little fingers of sandpaper. Alrighty. So, conveyor on, sanding belt on, rock and roll, here we go. Before, after. But we flip them over and they go through again, both sides. That's our magic number. 141.7. Left and right's done.
You can tell Tin knew he'd be back in here because he's not done any of this up very tight. He knew we'd be back. Oh, do you want to get a shot of this? This is going to look good. That's pretty sexy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah! Depth of that guy is a bit wider than that guy. Being just that little bit more than the material might cause us some drama. Oh shit. Did you get that?
Yep.
Don't tell Tin. Maybe we get rid of the box. That's what I was thinking. So because that handle, like the thickness of that little locating guy that I was talking about, that guy rattles. So I wonder if we just go to a thicker material just for that bracket, or do we put in some sort of spacer, or... There's a bunch of different ways we could fix that. I'll just have to have a think about which one's best. The gaps are all pretty even. It looks pretty level to the car and to the... It's satisfying how this trim line here goes, hits that, and then continues on. This might be a little close for comfort here, but it's nice the way that it lines up with... Yeah. So because there's this little like square border around him, having this line in there kind of intersect that square border, to me just looks... Yeah, it doesn't look good. So I'll probably go straight down, and it'll look a bit more square than what most of our products usually do, but the car's pretty square, so it might suit the car. We'll see how this big space goes. We did it for the Grenadier just to use it more as a storage pocket rather than a traditional molly panel. The Grenadier has such huge windows, so it works out well. The Prado's ones are a bit smaller, but there's still plenty of space in there. I don't know, I guess we see what people reckon. It's not massive, but it's, you know, it really lets you use that space, I guess. Try to keep 3 holes on the bottom because that's how much we need to mount our little pockets. It does look nice as the full enclosed panel, but that might be a bit more functional for most people. If you're not going all out with bags, if you just want it as a pouch. This surface here isn't like, the bolt hole is parallel to the ground, but that surface is leaning back. So if you were to try to get a bolt in there, you're going to twist it, you're going to cross thread your bolt and everything. So that was the whole thinking sort of behind the little bumper, was that if the mating surface rests parallel on those two, then that face is perpendicular to the bolt. And obviously we went for a little rubber guy on there just so it doesn't tear anything up, but keeps everything flush and nice.
He's a pro, ladies and gentlemen.
Work smarter, not harder. I may have done 1 or 2 of them before. This is where it gets hard doing it from the backside though.
What are you talking about? It looks
Graceful. Lucky you can't see my plumber's crack right now. Because it's out.
looks great. The line of sight through to the, like, from where I'm standing, the mirror is like...
Is it just underneath it? Oh yeah, and that's on the lower setting too, like it can go higher. Cool, very cool. Oh yeah.
Surface of the barrier bracket.
Emma had a similar comment.
And then the handle bracket goes up, which when you hold the handle bracket looks good, but when you see the two mating together, there we go. Yep.
Okay. Cool. So that's probably as far forward as we'd recommend it. How does that back hold?
Still at 102. We're here at Genoan with the Land Cruiser Club. That traction control is super smooth.
To your left, yeah, there's rocks there.
Okay, what do I need to do?
Sliding going on up the hill.
I don't think the 150's been flexed like this for a while. Still pretty limber.